Welcome back to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. My name is Walter Morello, and I have been taking you through this journey. Wealth Principle 20 is plan. Use the 10X rule in your planning. So we're 20 weeks in, and we're only now talking about planning because the first 20 weeks were very heavy on tactical ways to build your business, to get your marketing going, to get your sales going, to get a lot of information in how your real estate investing business is going to look. Now that we're 20 weeks in, it's time to readjust and bigger 10X the plan. Hands to the camera if you have been gaining value from the 52 Weeks to Wealth since you've been here. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause because some of you have been here with us way longer than just the 20 weeks. In fact, some of you have been here for a year or 2 years, and this is now your third year with the 52 Weeks to Wealth. So hands to the camera if this is year 2, your second year. Hands to the camera if this is year 3, your third year. Excellent. So as somebody who's new to us, you may be asking, why would these people jump on a call every single Saturday at 10 a.m. and some of you 7 a.m. if you're on the West Coast? The answer is because we're here to double our income and double our net worth. Hands up if that's true. Double your income, double your net worth. We do this every single year. The focus is double your income, double your net worth every year via the 52 Weeks to Wealth Challenge. Now, why does it work? It's because we have strategy, we have mindset, and we have this community who's paying attention, who's serving each other, who's looking to get to the next level as a team instead of fighting each other down. Now, the 10X rule was built, or maybe it was built by somebody else, but it was the claim to fame was from Grant Cardone. Hands to the camera if you've heard of Uncle G. We know who Uncle G is. All right. Now, I first stumbled upon it by Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets is a real estate investment platform where they have a podcast and people can go in there and ask questions and they can share information about how to buy real estate. I was focused on buying real estate. I wanted to buy a lot of real estate. Hands to the camera if you want to buy a lot of real estate, not just little stuff, lots of stuff. Yes, because we're focused on becoming millionaires and multimillionaires. 100 millionaires inspired to build 100 millionaires is our goal. I see you, Frank. I see you, Dorina. So throw those shirts up. So it's about cash. There's a money incentive. I see you, Annie. I love it. It's about cash. It's about getting more of this in your pockets, but also it's about serving others. It's about what we can do with that money to serve others, our family, our friends, our communities. Becoming a millionaire takes a lot more than just making a lot of money. It changes you. So you've heard the saying, it's not about the end, it's not about the goal, it's about the journey. When you get onto this millionaire journey, that becomes so true because it's who you have to become. It's the changes you have to go through in order to get to that next level. And with 10X planning, what we're going to talk about today is why it works and then how to use it. Hands to the camera if you're ready to do this with us today. Excellent. This, by the way, of all the other wealth principles, this is how we ensure that our activities are the right activities to double our income and double our net worth. The other wealth principles have led us to this point. Remember last week we talked about being the best in your industry. Wealth principle 19. Who knows it? Hands to the camera if you know wealth principle 19. Who knows where to find it? Excellent. Let me share the screen real quick. If you don't know, you're about to know. When you find that you need to know the wealth principles, you can go to alchemistnation.com, scroll to Millionaire Wealth Principles, scroll down to whatever week we're on. And if we are on week 20, apply the 10X rule to your planning, then, Felly dropped into the chat. She's amazing. Wealth principle 19 is be a world-class expert in your business. The week before was only deliver the highest quality product or services from there, constantly improve. The week before that, we were talking about offering high ticket items or dealing in high volume, which was either flipping or buying rental property and renting things out. Before that, it was the fixity of your purpose, a mindset one. Next week, we're going to be talking about creating the definiteness of your vision. Hands to the camera if you're recognizing a little bit of a theme as we continue through these. You're starting to see it? So Wealth Principle 20 came as a tool, as a way to take all of the other principles that we had just gone through the week before and the week before and the week before, and now scale up. Now that we have the right product, by the way, hands to the camera if you believe you know your product. You've got a strong product because of the work we've been putting in this last month. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now that we got our product, it is time to sell our product. I'm trying to channel Uncle G right now. If you had the ability to sell 10 times more of that thing, would you be 10 times richer? Yes or no? Drop it in the chat. I want to see it in the chat. Would you be richer if you sold 10 times more of that product than you sold the year before? The answer is yes. Now, is it realistic? Probably not. Is it hard? Hell to the yes, it's hard. We've never done it before. You're talking about 10 times more. But here's what it will do for you. It will change the way you think about doing the activity itself. If you are a cold caller, if you're somebody who buys houses, a wholesaler who's calling people and saying, I want to buy your house, I want to buy your house, I want to buy a house. We know that you book an appointment every 100 calls dialed, 150 calls dialed. So in order to book 10 appointments, you got to 10x, you would have to call 1,000 to 1,500 people. Wow, that's a lot of time. So what does 10x allow you to do? It starts getting you thinking, I could never do that. And it's if you're catching this. 10x thinking, 10x planning gets you realizing you cannot do the what. So you have to change the how, or find somebody else to do it. We always use the power dialer before. We have other systems and resources that could do this. So you can dial with a power dialer. You could do 1,000 to 1,500. You do 1,500 in, let's say, 10 hours to 7 hours, 7 to 10 hours. With a power dialer, it's dialing 3 people at a time. You can dial about 100 to 150 people per hour, and it will get you there. Now, if you had the focus and the time to do that, and the determination and the commitment, you could do that time, or you could pay somebody else that 10 hours worth of time. Hence, if you caught that, you could be paying somebody else for 10 hours worth of time. Absolutely. Now, would 10 extra appointments instead of your one appointment, would 10 extra appointments allow you to be able to buy more property? We know probably every 20 appointments you go on will lead to a great flip. So if it took you got one appointment a week, it would take you 20 weeks to get one deal. You're probably gonna do 2 deals a year. But now if you're going on 10 appointments a week, it's going to take 2 weeks, which means you can do 25 deals a year. Does that make sense? Because there's 52 weeks in a year. You can do 26, I guess, the math. Changing how we think changes the activities that we do. So the planning process, now that we've gotten to the point with our business, with our investments, with our ideology of what we're doing, right? Wealth principle 1, think a million. Wealth principle 2, choose a business that can make $1 million. So early on, we made all these right decisions. Hands in the if you were with us for those decisions. Excellent, excellent. All right, now we're going to do an exercise, because I believe that activity is the only way to implement into a real existence. I see Brian's wearing the 10x hat. Let's give Brian a round of applause. 10x, brother. This activity is for you. It starts with the homework we did last week. You got to pick your product. What is the thing that you are selling to somebody else that their life can be better in some way, somehow? What are you selling for? Money, by the way. This is a money conversation, not friendship conversation, not I'm gonna get more fit conversation, I'm gonna get more food conversation. This is they're going to exchange their money with you for the product that you're selling. Hence, can't forget this. All right, so pick that product, whatever we came up with last week or the week before, drop it in the chat. You can drop it right there, or you can write down a piece of paper, but drop it in the chat for everybody else. And as you're looking at that product, I want you to now say, I think I'm going to sell X amount. Like if you've never sold it before, you got to kind of take a guess. But if you have been selling in the past, like our friends, our landlords who have already units. So Ron and I have 48 units. We sold a few, and we're building another 50 units, under contract to build another 50 units right now. So that would double our portfolio, but that's not a 10x. Hence, if you recognize, not a 10x. 10x would be 480 units. So in order for us to get to 480 units, we have to write down 480 units. So I want you to write down your sales of whatever you had last year, whatever you project you can do, and then write on the side of it an X and then a 10. Or easy math, you're going to love this. Just put a 0 on the side of it. The existing number that you already have of sales that you did last year, or what you could do this year, just put a 0 right on the side of it. Remember that trick from school? Who remembers that one? That is 0. That's 10x. Now looking at it, you're going to have to adjust. So if I was going to get 480 units, I would have to adjust. I would have to look for 480 unit building. That's one way to do it. Or I'd have to do, 10 480 unit deals, which is not the way I invest. I just look at a much larger type of deal. And if you're catching this, forget it. All right. Now, if I start looking at much bigger deals, there's a good chance that I'm going to run into much bigger deals. There's a very good chance somebody will come into my life who has a deal of that size. For me, I'm on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. When I said 10x, it gave me a different result. I said, how do I build 1,000 millionaires? How do I get 1,000 people into the summit? Who was at the summit last year? 100 Millionaires Summit. Who was there with us live in person? We had 100 people in the room last year at the event. I said 10x will be in the room next year. Come a year from now, I will put 10 times the amount of people into this room. It took me on a journey. that I did not expect, because every day I wake up and I say, how do I put 1,000 people in the room? How do I put 1,000 people in that room? Who is going to put 1,000 people in that room for me is when things started to change. Who's heard me say who, not how? Even I am capable of thinking in the how. I say this all the time to Dorina. If you're asking how, it's the broke person's question. Broke people ask how. Rich people ask who. Catching this? Millionaires ask who. So I started asking who has an audience big enough that they could bring 100 people each, with 10 people who could bring 100 people to the seminar, to the 100 Millionaires Summit in October. And I thought, okay, community leaders, influencers maybe. And then we started mind mapping, and it hit me like a lightning bolt 6 months ago. It was the Real Estate Investors Association. That's who had it. The Real Estate Investors Association, there was over 100 across the country. They had an audience of at least 1,000 per association. And their attendance ranges anywhere between 50 to 250 people in the room every single month, which means if I had an opportunity to speak in front of 100 RIAs and I sold 10% of the room on the idea of coming down to Orlando with us, then that would put 1,000 people in the room. Hands to camera if you saw that math just now. Today, as I speak to you, I am the speaker at the National RIA's semi-annual gathering, where all of the leaders from the RIA get together for 4 days to talk about building community, improving success rate of their community, getting more people in the room, and making sure that the RIA stays profitable and stays relevant. Hands to the camera if you think I'm in the right room today. Only because of 10X thinking 6 months ago, almost more than 6 months ago now. It was actually 8 months ago we came up with that. So you've got your product written down. We're going back to the exercise. You got your product written down, and you've got the amount you made last year, and you put the 0 on the side of it. And now we're going to start tactically thinking and brainstorming. This is a brainstorm session for you to do with us. What are a few things that you could do to connect with the people, the players who have what you want? And I'm going to give you a tool. It's called Alchemist Connect that I used all weekend long. All weekend, I've been using Alchemist Connect. I've been out here beta testing it for you. And Alchemist Connect, for anybody who doesn't know, is a CRM, but is a high-level CRM. This is next-level stuff. This is not the little CRMs we used to play with in the past. This was a CRM that was built to expand a person's influence effortlessly without doing work. And as I've been talking to people at this event, I've pulled out my app. I've been putting their contact information in. But before I got here, Dorina sent a request to one of our virtual assistants, and she had all of the data information of the RIAs dropped into my phone, into the CRM. So as I've been connecting with people, their names, their numbers, their teams, their assistants information has already been in the CRM, which I now have access to on my phone. Hands to camera if you can see where this is going. This is some interesting stuff, right? So I've been connecting with everybody. As soon as I connect, I send them a text and say, hey, this is Walter. Thanks for connecting. Now, that text is automatic because as soon as I drop their number into the CRM, they are a new contact within the CRM. As soon as I make that update to their contact information, we're catching this. It's effortless. I'm now moving to the next person. New data in the phone. Hey, it was great connecting with you. Let's set up an appointment to talk next week. This is a list, a very specific list that I am adding people to in the CRM. It allows me to know that I want that message going out. Hands to camera if that makes sense. They're getting a tag that says NRIA Leader because I'm opening it in a smart list on Alchemist Connect. I have software that has allowed me to 10X my networking skills. It's on my phone. They're typing their information right into my CRM right there for me. And then they're literally, as soon as they hit click, the message is sent. Hands to the camera if that's cool. Oh, it's an easy way to make some connection. We've been talking about all week connections, the importance of connections. And I told everybody in the RIA, there's something wrong here. There's something you're doing wrong. And it's because you're not thinking big enough. You're not thinking, how many people can we serve? How do we serve 10 times the amount of people? So their thinking stayed small. After this week, their thinking has adjusted. In fact, I have at least 5 people who have committed to being at the 100 Millionaires Summit this year. Let's give them a round of applause. 5 people who have committed not only to be at the 100 Millionaires Summit, I've got 5 people who have committed to bring me to their stage, to bring their community to the 100 Millionaires Summit. And they've said this. They said, please, will you come? They did not say, I'm going to give you an opportunity. They said, please, will you come to speak in front of our group. And the reason they did that is because I went and I told them, I will sell whatever I sell. I'm going to sell your product and I don't want a dime for it. But I am the greatest salesperson that will ever be on your stage selling your membership to your members. All I'm going to ask is that if they pay more than $300 for your membership, which by the way, all RIA memberships are more than $300, hands to camera. If you paid one before, you know what I'm talking about. They range between $300 to $1,000. So I told them all I ask is that you let me give them 2 free tickets. Because I don't care if they pay me the money. I just care that they paid money for those tickets. Does that make sense? And this goes to every single one of you. I don't care if they pay me the money. If they pay you the money to go to the 100 Millionaire Summit, you let Dorina know that they paid you. So 10x thinking, 10x thinking, this next level planning. Put me in a room that was the right room, but didn't happen overnight. So your planning may not happen overnight, but you do have to start. You have to start identifying. I have 3 ways, 1,000 people in that room, 3 different ways. You're going to be brainstorming today with us right now. Who has already got at least one way to do the 10x of what they're looking to do? Hands up if you got at least one way. Excellent. Excellent. Who's got 2 ways already? 2 ways. All right. So let's think about some other ways. The first one I just shared was influencer marketing. So if you want to 10x your sales, 10x increase, you're going to actually no, the first one I shared was outsourcing, paying somebody else. Who remembers paying the VA to go and do these things? All right. So paying a VA or another person or assistant to 10x, you're buying somebody else's time. The second one I just talked about was the RIA. I leveraged an influencer group. That's 100 influencers who have an audience that is in line with things that I do, that I can add value to. By the way, this is who would like to know what I told the RIAs I would do for them in exchange. Who's interested? So 2 nights ago, it was a networking night. I talked to 25 RIA leaders, owners, and I asked them, what are the biggest challenges? What are the things you're doing really well? What would you like to see more of in your business, in your RIA? And the single answers, there were 4 answers. And the first was, I'd like to see more attendance. I'd like to see more conversion. I'd like to see more retention, more people staying, and I see more people being successful. And so I went on stage 2 days later. I did not make my presentation before I flew out here. I knew I was not prepared for this group. I made my presentation the night before, and I targeted every one of those challenges, and I built a product that solves every one of those challenges. Hands to camera if that's the right way to sell something. Yes. And then what I sold them was a call with me, a one-on-one call with me, to build out the marketing strategy that puts double the attendance in their room within 60 days. 60 days, double their attendance. Hands to the camera if you recognize somebody who wants to just add a few more people to their room is gonna mind blown when you're able to do it in 2 months, double their room. Hands to the camera if you recognize that's a huge value. And then here's what I said, because I've never done this before. I said, look, if I can't do it in 60 days, can we still be friends? If I don't charge you anything, if I don't charge you absolutely anything for doing this, all I ask is one thing. You bring people to my 100 Millionaire Summit so that I can serve them. And by the way, when you bring them, let me pay you an affiliate fee for every ticket they purchase. You keep the money on the tickets. And then let me pay you an affiliate fee if they buy something from me down the road. Would that be okay? Hands to camera if you know, they said yes. They all said yes. Then they had no clue why I was doing it. And I had to explain, I'm on a mission to build 100 millionaires who inspire to build 100 millionaires. Your influencers are easy to get, but you cannot try to hit them with what you think they need. You've got to ask them what they need. If you ask them, they will work with you. And for the next 2 to 3 weeks, could be 2 to 3 months, I'm going to be adding so much value to the Real Estate Investors Association, the national RIA, by calling them, texting them with my CRM, booking appointments, and one-on-oneing with them until we fix it. Hands to the camera if you'd be willing to spend 2-3 months of just communicating with really top level players to get the change in your life and your business. We'll see. The next one is ads, ad spend. In order for me to fill 1,000 people at the 100 Millionaire Summit in October, I could spend $100,000. $100,000, because to put a button seat today is $100 per button seat on ad spend. That means they would have to see and click on your links $100 worth of time. And scan if that makes sense. We grasp they'd have to go through the funnels. You'd have to be hitting them with different messaging, hitting them with texts and emails, and they're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, whatever your ad spend is being hit, wherever their face is, they're going to get that. That costs about $100 per button seat. And in some cases, it's a little more than that. It can be $100 to $200. I've already told the team I'm willing to spend $250,000 if that's what it takes to fill the room with 1,000 people. Hands to the camera if you know you could maybe 10x your business with ad spend, significant ad spend. Absolutely. Who here has 3 ways they can 10x their business right now? Who's got 3 ways written down? Hands up. Excellent. Okay. There's a lot of people who don't. What would it take to do, like, write these down? I can spend ads. I can find somebody who has the audience of the people that I want to work with, or I can pay somebody to call a list of people who would be the right client. Those are the 3 different ways that you right now in this market, in this changing environment, could fill your pipeline with, if you're a real estate investor, off-market leads. This is making sense. The influencers in real estate would be the realtors and the wholesalers. Did that help just now? Making that little connection for our real estate investors? Okay, excellent. Ad spend would be on mailers, or it would be on possibly some social media advertisement, but it'd probably mostly be on mailers. And time-wise, it would be cold callers, right? Hiring somebody to cold call for you. I think that one was pretty clear, pretty obvious. So the 10x plan, the 10x rule is about thinking bigger so that the activities that you start doing end up giving you bigger results. You may not 10x your business this year, but you for sure will double it if you take action on this plan. Hands scan if you can see the truth to that already, for sure. And what we're going to be doing this week is a challenge. Who here likes a good challenge? Who likes a challenge that makes a lot of money? Excellent. So we've built Alchemist Connect. We've taken the time to build Alchemist Connect to get to the level where you could use it in your life to increase your income, increase your relationships. By the way, if you're single and you want to mingle, you could use Alchemist Connect to automate your dating process. Who knows, a text that goes out every Friday or every Thursday that says, "Good morning, beautiful, how are you doing?" would work on one person just as well as it would work on 10 or 6. Ask me how I know. Darina knows that already, by the way. Let's give Darina a round of applause. She was like, that was automated? I was like, yes, that was automated. You're in my CRM, and the Android allows me to do that. So it works in everything. Alchemist Connect will help you build your landing page. It will help you build your funnel. It will help you build your website. If you want to sell memberships, it'll help you build your membership site. If you're looking to have a CRM to hold all of your data, all your people, the CRM is what we base it on. If you want to automate conversations via text, Facebook Messenger, by the way, I don't go to Facebook on my business page anymore. I go to Alchemist Connect and I respond through Messenger. It's a lot easier for me. I just see a little app, a little logo that says Facebook, so I know where it's coming from. And scare if that's a cool feature. I only now have to go to one place to respond and manage people who are coming in asking how to become a millionaire. The other thing it does, ringless voicemail drops. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you get a ringless voicemail drop from me, you know how it got to you. If like for some reason a message came through, but you didn't hear the phone ring, hence the scam. If you know that was Alchemist Connect also. Absolutely. It does many other things. So you'll be receiving surveys from Amy very soon. There's a survey we're sending out for the 52 weeks to wealth to find out how is it working for everybody? Can we improve? How do we get to the next level? What do you like? What don't you like? And that survey is going to come out. And then it's also going to ask, what's your success level? Like, where are you at? How long have you been with us? That survey is going to come through Alchemist Connect. We built it there. We're going to send it through there. So the information, everybody who responds, we're going to have those fields populate automatically when they bring it through. We can build that for you. You can build that for you. Actually, we already built it for you. It's already in Alchemist Connect. You just got to go and type in what fields you want people to answer, your clients. You send out a survey. That information now becomes yours. And you know how to call them. You know why you're calling them. Imagine calling a seller, you send them a survey and say, hey, what do you think's wrong in the neighborhood? What do you think's right or wrong with your house? And it automatically populates. Or there's just a form that people fill out. What are things you would change about your house form, right? And it comes into you. And now you have a reason to contact them. They have to put their name, number, email. And so now you've got their contact information. Hence, if you can start seeing how some of this might be impactful for your business. Yes. For people raising capital, hence for raising capital. CRM, perfect for raising capital. Because once every other week, it says, hey, here's a change in the market, or I'm jumping on a call. I'm going to talk about a deal that I've got. Are you interested in jumping on with us? And you put all of your accredited investors into one CRM, one list. Then your unaccredited investors, you put in another list that nurtures them. How do they get some sales training maybe? How do they, do some investment that gets their capital up? So 2 separate CRMs when we're raising capital. Hence, if that makes sense. 2 separate lists, which you can do within Alchemist Connect. Darina, when could I do a training on who'd be interested before I offer it? Who'd be interested in a training on Alchemist Connect? If I give you 30 days free, see if you can use it, see if it works. How about this?
This week.
I just realized it's a flaw if I try to schedule on the call right now. I want to get to Q&A So send me or Dorina or Felly or Amy a text message, any one of us, and say, I want to be a part of the Alchemist Connect training. I think Mark's here. Mark Dozwa is on the call, and me and Mark will be running that training. So you can send it to Mark and just say, hey, I want to be a part of the Alchemist Connect training. And if you don't have our contact information, well, that's because you're not part of Alchemist Nation or you haven't paid us on some level. But you can go to alchemistnation.com and drop in a comment and say, I'd like to be involved in the Alchemist Connect training. Actually, Mark, can you put up a little post that says, drop a comment if you want to be involved in this week's Alchemist Connect training? Awesome. So Mark's going to put that post on Alchemist Nation. I want to open it up to questions. But before we do, I don't see Mike Shine on the call. Who here has the 10X rule in their house, the book from Grant Cardone? Who here, hands to Karen, if you have the book and you'd like to give the book of the week review? Hands to Karen if you can do it. Let's go. Everybody, book of the week's got to get done by somebody. Who's got the book? Greg's got it. All right. I see you, Greg. Greg LeBlanc is raising capital right now for a big deal he is doing. He is invested with us in a deep manner. Greg spent $50,000 with us for us to go and find a deal that has $500,000 in equity minimum, so that when he closes, he has a 10x return. Hands to the camera if you're catching the theme this week. It's about 10x on everything. Greg, unmute that mic. Let's hear your rendition of the 10x rule by Grant Cardone. Let's give Greg LeBlanc a round of applause.
Yeah, the book is an awesome book. It is definitely right on. It's just about, 10xing your life, not just your business, and just taking it to, another level and focusing on that one thing, like Walter says, and, just taking it to the next level. And whether it be your income, your business, your personal life, your, anything, it's a great book and definitely recommend it.
Let's give Greg LeBlanc a round of applause. Greg's been through the mentorship. He's in our Alchemist Mastery program, and now he's in a program that we don't even have a name for because it's that next level. In fact, maybe we could call it the Inner Circle. How about that? Melanie and Greg, would you like to be a part of our Inner Circle calls that we do with our Inner Circle members who invested with South Coast Capital about a year ago? Would that be cool with you guys? All right, let's call it the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle, we get a 10x return. Let's give them a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite part of the day. I appreciate the fact that you're dedicated to your commitment. I appreciate you are becoming one of our 100 millionaires, and that some of you on this call are committed and dedicated to building 100 millionaires once you've become one, whether it's through coaching, training, speaking, being an author, or it's from answering questions on Alchemist Nation for our mentors who answer texts, who pick up the phone, who have conversations with people and are guiding them, whether they're doing it intentionally reaching out or they're just responding. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your commitment to this community and to paying it forward. And also, it helps you keep the money. Because the worst thing that could happen is you feel bad about all the money. But when you're teaching others about how to make money and they're asking you questions and they appreciate you and they're blessing you, the universe is blessing you and allowing that money to stay with you and continue to grow. Hands to camera if you commit to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. Let's do it in our own way. There's a way for everybody. Go to alchemistnation.com and let's register. Let's drop a little yes or count me in for Alchemist Connect training. This is going to give you 30 days of the greatest, the best, the highest level CRM on the planet. And it's going to give you the tools. I'm going to give you the training on how to do it. You could build your website. Anything you want to build for your business right now, forget about Zapier. If you've ever had to connect things to other things, we've done all the work. You don't ever have to connect for the things that we're doing right now. Build your website, connect your forms, CRM, automated messaging. We've done it all. It's all connected. Hands to camera if that's super valuable. Awesome.